We are tracking, as you look at a live shot right now, Chicago, Illinois, where President Biden expected to deliver a speech on the importance of vaccines. New polls, by the way, showing the president not doing a very good job convincing the American public, at least in how he's handling it. Quinnipiac polls showing less than half of Americans support the president's handling of the pandemic. His overall approval rating, by the way, dropping to get this, 38%. That number down from 42%. Remember, he was always the guy that was going to be 50% or above. Well, that's not the case now at all. And as you're looking at key issues here, that's not all. Taxes not doing well. The economy not doing well. The commander-in-chief, which brings to mind what happened in Afghanistan, not doing well. Joining us now to discuss these, Heather?
Yes, is the radio host of News Radio 1040 WHO, Simon Conway, and host of Stacey on the Right and co-chair of Project 21, Stacey Washington. Thank you both for joining us. Stacey, I'm going to start with you, and I'm going to bring back those numbers that we were just talking about, a look at this poll, if we can bring those back up. The numbers that we were just showing show the commander-in-chief, his approval rating at 37% versus 58% who disapprove. And then in terms of taxes, you have, let's see, the overall economy, 39% approve of his handling of the economy, and then you had COVID response. All right, there were a lot of numbers and a lot of graphics. Overall, it was bad, Stacey. They said that he was battered on trust, doubted on leadership, and challenged on overall competency.
But other than that,
yeah, not good for him, Stacey.
So this is something where I kind of feel like, yay, the polls show he's not doing so well, but will it matter? Because we have to get to 2022, and people have to tie the Biden agenda and the failed policies of the Biden administration to the candidates who are running in the races in 2022. So they have to actually create a correlation between the two of those. So is the GOP going to pull the trigger on the right ads, the right messaging? Are they going to knock the right doors? Are they going to have the right ad campaigns on online, not just Facebook and Twitter, but going to those other less frequented sites by adults my age, like TikTok and Reels on Instagram? Are they really going to reach into the American experience and tie so much of what we're seeing that does not work? The higher price on meat, gas, everything that you touch and see and need to purchase costs more because of Biden's failed economic and energy agenda. Are they going to tie it together so we can get this thing done? That's the really big question that this poll poses to me.
Well, yeah, and Simon, good to see you, by the way. It's been a while. But you talked to somebody yesterday that might have an idea on how to approach these things and has been fairly good at it in the past.
Yeah, I spoke to former President Trump for about 15 minutes at the start of my show. And in addition to everything else, we talked about this latest Des Moines Register poll, not known for their conservative leanings, I should point out, showing that Trump in Iowa has never been more popular, which is interesting. But I think everything you've said so far, I have a really important question. Who are these 38% of Americans that think Joe Biden's doing a good job? Who are they?
Yeah, it's a good question. And you mentioned Iowa. We're going to be covering that Iowa rally live, and I'll be here for everybody on Saturday night. And, his numbers, he did well in Iowa in 2020, obviously, won that state. Stacey, one of the other things I wanted to talk about, because we talk a lot about the taxes and the economy, obviously, this week, that's big in the news. But we have to also look at foreign policy and those numbers when it comes to this administration and President Biden low as well. You mentioned Afghanistan, his approval rating at 28% for that withdrawal.
Yeah, so, this is something that will last. It's durable. The Afghanistan withdrawal is something that actually lowered America's standing around the world, our actual reputational value as a partner and an ally with our closest allies, the UK, countries in Europe, and other partners who were right on the ground with our soldiers, and they were maintaining peace there in Afghanistan. And so the knowledge that all of those leaders, the military leaders actually recommended that he leave 2,500 troops behind, and that he disregarded that advice and went ahead with his plan that then did not work out. is something that really works in the favor of people who want to weaken his agenda and weaken his ability to get things through, specifically speaking to the Senate races. So I'm very hopeful. I mean, it's terrible that that's what we have to be hopeful about, but he did that. And so we're going to use that to capitalize on what we need, which is to derail everything he wants to do to America.
Yeah, my theory is Mr. Biden thinks if he can get the votes he needs, that his approval rating will go up after all this goes through, and we're on a sugar high of all this money we don't have, spending it on people. So let me ask you, Simon, when you look at Iowa, you said the former president has never been more popular.
That's right.
Yet you hear people saying, other people saying, time to move on from former President Trump. We've got DeSantis waiting in the wings. We have other viable candidates. How do you read that?
Well, let me tell you who has been here frequently this year already. Mike Pompeo has been here numerous times, been in my studio. Nikki Haley, been here numerous times, been in my studio. Kristi Noem has been here. Vice President Pence has been here. I actually asked Trump yesterday if he decided ultimately to run, whether he thought he'd have to face any of them. And he said, no, probably not. So there may be some people that think it's time to move on. But here's the reality. If Trump runs, he will suck all the air out of the room. He's going to be the only game in town. I don't think anyone is going to actually run against him on the GOP side. And I think if they do, they're likely to get destroyed.
Yeah, Heather, that sounds, how does anybody beat Donald Trump within the Republican Party?
Yeah, I was wondering, Simon, did he give you a hint as to some of the things that he'll be addressing on Saturday? And will he possibly be announcing that he's going to run in 2024, since it is Iowa, after all?
Right. One of the first questions I asked him, actually, was could the crowd expect a big announcement? He had a little chuckle and kind of danced around it a bit and then said, I think they'll be very pleased. He's not going to announce. He's not going to announce, in my opinion, until after the 2022 midterms, because if for some reason they go badly, he doesn't want that on him, right? So he'll wait till after 2022. I think almost immediately after that, if he is deciding to run, that's when he will announce. And I think that's also why everyone's in early, because a lot can happen in a year and a bit.
That is true. That's definitely true. Stacey, final word?
I can't wait to hear what he's going to announce about that, and I want to know where he's going to take his social media. I've been waiting. I've been talking about it on the show on SiriusXM. Come on, Mr. Trump. Come on, President Trump.
It may depend on where Congress takes social media.
Who cares what they do? The only thing we all care about is where will President Trump tweet from or send messages from on social media next. That's what we're waiting for.
All right. Well, everyone stand by. We're not done yet.